It's official, Kingdom Hearts 4 is being developed as Square Enix unveiled this week a new trailer featuring Sora and crew as part of the 20th anniversary celebrations of the series. In the video, at around 4 minutes, we get sight of Sora awakening in a strange room and meeting a new character, Strelitzia, who calls the place the Quandratum, which is set in a fast-paced city. Sora will be making a triumphant return according to Square in an updated look in the new storyline titled The Lost Master Arc. What immediately stands out is the world is much more realistic than in previous titles. So far, no release date or platforms were announced, but development still seems to be early on. We do get a glimpse of some gameplay with Sora scaling high-rise buildings as he faces a boss. Of course, it wouldn't be a Kingdom Hearts game without some returning characters such as Donald and Goofy. So far, no platforms or release date has been announced, but the game is in development. The 3D action RPG Made in Abyss Binary Star Falling into Darkness is launching this fall, and Spike Chunsoft has released some new details about 2 game modes, Hello Abyss and Deep in Abyss, as well as going into details about the crafting system and the Curse of the Abyss. Players can choose to play 2 different modes, the first being Hello Abyss, which is based on the story of the anime while teaching some of the basic systems as well as how players will progress in the game while playing as Rico accompanied by the human robot Reg. While in the Deep in Abyss mode, players can control a new cave raider who is an original character down to the depths of the abyss. You can completely customize the character with hairstyles and features in a completely original story. The Curse of the Abyss adds a unique element to the original story as the further the character delves deeper into the abyss, the more the body experiences severe strains when returning to the surface, which can cause both physical and mental toll. Made in Abyss Binary Star Falling into Darkness will release on PlayStation 4, Switch and PC via Steam in 2022. Eiyuden Chronicle Rising got its launch date this week, announced for May 10th. The title will be coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch and PC via Steam, Epic Game Store and GOG for $14.99 USD. It's set to be a companion prequel game for upcoming Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, which releases in 2023. Rising will follow the events of a massive earthquake that hits a town on the frontier of Alaran called New Nevea, revealing rune barrows. This attracts fortune seekers and merchants from far and wide. Amongst the hopefuls of treasure hunters are 3 star-crossed heroes. With these heroes take on bosses swapping between character moves and using link attacks which can combine their specialities. Not all is what it seems as rune barrows, as it is deep rooted in conspiracies that will have some shocking outcomes affecting the Eiyuden Chronicles universe. In case you missed it, Eiyuden Chronicle Rising was actually a stretch goal of 100 heroes, which hit all of its goals and then some. The game sets to be an action RPG where you rebuild a town, playing differently from the main series of games. The game sets to have 2.5D aesthetics with side-scroller combat, with a story that focuses on events happening before 100 heroes. Upcoming action RPG Steelrising is now delayed to September 8th, 2022. New gameplay release previews some of the combat, boss fights, weapons, and more. While news of the delay is sad to hear, new gameplay was released, which means we get to see more of the actual game. We see Aegis, an automaton that hacks and slashes their way through enemies and even downward leaping onto foes. In the footage, we get a closer look at some of the weapons and additions players will be able to add to their own automaton. This included armoured fans and shield musket. Weapons are not the only option to augment your character, as there are tools that can be used to help explore the environment, including grappling hooks, which look to be taking a leaf out of or in this case, an arm out of Sakura's exploration book. But grappling hooks is not the only tool in Steelrising, so there could be some really interesting options here. We also got to have a peek at some of the enemies, which included a spinning blade robot that will pose a challenging fight. In case you missed it, Steelrising is set in an alternative retelling of the French Revolution, about King Louis XVI's automaton army which is terrorizing the citizens of Paris. The combat looks quite different to Spider's previous RPG party-based title, Greedfall, as it looks to take on more of a focus on melee with different augments to cater to different playstyles. Steelrising will be released on September 8th for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC via Steam, Epic Game Store, and GOG. The first DLC for Expeditions Rome has been released, titled Death or Glory. This DLC focuses on the life of the gladiators, ancient warriors risking life and limb for glory in the arena. With this DLC, the player will get the chance to relive the glory and claim it for themselves. Some of the features of this DLC are a new class with 3 subclasses, a new arena area, new quest lines, weapons, armor, and cosmetics. Death or Glory's primary highlight would be the introduction of the newest class, the Gladiator. As with the base game, this newest character can eventually evolve into one of the 3 subclasses, this being the Ironclad Murmillo, the Provocator, or the Ricciari. Gladiators will also bring a total of 24 class-related skills to Expeditions Rome. This is split into 8 new skills across all 3 subclasses. If you want to know what we thought of Expeditions Rome, be sure to check out our review. As with all news in this video, be sure to check out the link in the description of this video for more details. Prepare for the undead, as Weird West gets a zombie apocalypse mode for a limited time event plus roadmap reveal. Weird West, the western themed RPG with supernatural influence, gets an uprising from the undead in this latest limited time event. Celebrating hitting the 400,000 player mark since its launch on March 31st, players can jump into the event right now. The event isn't the only post-launch content that is coming to the game. Developer Wolfeye has also released a roadmap of content which includes the Plague event, a content pack, a Nimpossible mode, Cage One's event, and mods. There are also sets to be more updates coming in future, including expansions, new story events, and journeys according to the Steam post. In case you missed it, Weird West contains everything you'd expect from a Wild West themed title, including lawmen and gunslingers, but there's also the more paranormal side with fantastical creatures. The title is an immersive action RPG sim which provides a sandbox experience with roughly 40 plus hours of gameplay. Weird West is now available on PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. Director of Monster Hunter Rise, Yoshitaka Suzuki, unveiled 2 more characters that will appear in the upcoming Sunbreak expansion. The 2 characters, Sir Jay and Dame Luchika, previously briefly appeared in the 3 Lords trailer. Jay is a close-range melee character who's voiced by Griffin Burns, who also voices Child in Genshin Impact, among other games as well. Voicing the Royal Knight Luchika, the artillery specialist, is voice actress Karen Strassman, who also voiced Nanako in Persona 4, and much more. These aren't the first characters to be revealed by Capcom, as earlier in March during a digital event, a new receptionist Chike, blacksmith Minele, and merchant Oboro were all shown. In case you missed it, Capcom unveiled a slew of content for Sunbreak back in March, including new threats, which includes the Lunagaron, a frost wyvern, and also new wirebug skills will be coming to the game, new species of endemic life, as well as pre-order details. There will also be some improvements made to wall running and gameplay. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak will be coming to PC and Switch on June 30th. Players should note, in order to access the expansion content, they will also need to have completed the 7-star hub quest, Serpent Goddess of Thunder. If you're new to Rise, be sure to check out our Getting Started guide. The MMORPG The Elder Scrolls Online got more details revealed about the upcoming expansion, which releases this June, called High Isle. The new chapter sets to add new world events, a new 12-player trial called Dreadsail Reed, 2 new companions Ember and Isabel, new world events called Volcanic Vents, new delves, public dungeons, world bosses, and new standalone quests. This chapter brings the year-long themed content of the Legacy of the Breton, bringing a new region to explore called High Isle. We actually got a hands-on look at the upcoming content and have a new video which goes over some of the details about the new in-game card game called Trails of Tribute, plus more about the story of the Ascendant Order. Be sure to check out our video, The Elder Scrolls Online High Isle hands-on preview and impressions. The Elder Scrolls Online High Isle will launch on June 6th for PC and Stadia, and PlayStation and Xbox consoles on June 21st. Well, that's it for the Week in the Wikis. Please join us again next week for yet another great week of gaming. Remember to check out our VIP program for some exclusive supporter benefits. And budding writers should take advantage of our Become an Author initiative. Thanks again for being part of this great community. Keep checking in with us with news, reviews, YouTube streams and vids, and general wiki goodness.